Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Bond Bosher, and today I want to show you how to make bigger, better bass kicks in Ableton. And you can even use the stock drums just like I did. And I'm using Ableton 9.7 just because I haven't upgraded to 10 yet. I know it's been a while, but I just haven't really seen the need to, except for I've been working on 10 a lot more, and I actually am starting to like a lot of things. So yeah, that's very, very soon. Anyway, okay. So let's make some bigger bass kicks. This is just a loop that I made for example's sake. Let's start from scratch. Control N, and by default I just have an audio and MIDI channel set up. You can have it however you want. I'm going to set the BPM to 137 just because that's what the project was that you heard before it. I'm going to double click into this here, and this is the session view, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to C1 in the note lane here that we created, and we're going to make a 4 on the floor beat just real quick. C1 is because that's what my drum rack defaults for the first drum, but it's completely up to you. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Whatever works for you is what's going to work best. You feel me? Okay. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our instruments under categories. We're going to make a drum rack, click and drag, boom. It defaults to C1 like I said. And then at that point, we're going to start with our first portion of the kick drum. Again, this is just what the kick drum was in the previous example, but the technique is what you're going to pay attention to. The techniques are what you're going to do. Customize yourself. So we're going to go to places, into packs. We're going to go to the core library. We're going to go to drums. We're going to go to samples. Oops, you know what? We're going to go to samples and then drums. Hey, there we go. Sorry. And then we're going to go to kick, and then we're going to go to the kick Berghain. I don't know how you say it, to be honest. It's BGHN. Nice, deep, techno-y kick. We're going to click and drag it into the C1 there. And right off the bat, if you listen to it, this is what we got. So nothing too crazy, but we're going to make it way bigger. So we're going to click to activate the filter first and foremost right off the bat, and this is under sample and controls. Either way works. It just gives you a representation of the graph here under controls. And make sure to click to show and hide the devices as well if you're not seeing that. But it defaults to a low pass 24 filter. We're going to keep the low pass 24, but instead of a clean circuit type, we're going to do an OSR, and this allows for some nice hard clipping. So we're going to set the cutoff frequency to 317 hertz. Still gives it the lower middle frequencies nice room to do their thing. We're going to set the resonance, aka the peak of the filter's cutoff, at about 31%. Again, completely up to you, up to preference. 2.67 decibels for the drive, and this is what I really like about this circuit type, is that you can add drive to the filter and it really beefs it up. We're going to set the transposition to -14. We're going to set the volume to velocity to 91%. And the reason for this is because the more velocity we have, essentially, the louder it's going to be if this knob is turned up. And velocity is, of course, how hard you hit the key or how hard you hit something in like a drum pad or whatever. So even at 100, what it should defaults to, it's still going to be beefy because we set the volume to velocity up higher. In the example before you heard this mixer channel was at -4 decibels. I'm going to set the volume of this sample to -14 just to give it some headroom. And you can hold control and click and drag on that. You can obviously type it in too. It's completely up to you. All right, now if we listen, this is what it's going to sound like. It's be you're going to hear a lot more lower frequencies. Just like that, you can hear it way more. Just comes through, especially when we hone in on a specific frequency and give it a nice little drive here. So you can do this for any kick. And at this point, in all reality, I'm going to build the other portions of the kick that I did in the example just to kind of give you an idea of how to kind of build bigger kicks with a lower, kind of a mid, a top mid, and then a top. So just 3 portions, very simple. But if you're good here, you're good to go. And if this helped, please use it. Filters are very, very powerful. So anyway, we're going to go to the second portion of the kick, which is the middle top, and we're going to set this to the bowl kick. And that's just another stock sound. We're going to throw that in there. And what we're going to do is click to activate the filter. And by default, again, this is a low pass. We're going to set it to a band pass, which is the low pass and high pass at the same time. As you can see here, when we start to lower the frequency, this is what frequency we're going to get in on. Specifically, however, we're going to go a little lower to 219. And we're going to fill out that little middle higher portion. We're going to set the resonance pretty high to 52. And you, again, don't have to do it exactly like this. You can set to OSR and give it some drive. You can do whatever. All right. We're going to set the transposition to -3. We're going to set the volume to velocity to 54. However, I honestly, if you want a thicker top mid, I would just set it to maybe like 75 and go from there. Kind of customize it yourself. So as you can hear, there's that. But let's listen to it. And it's subtle, but it's very effective. And you'll hear what I'm talking about, okay? But before we do that, we better draw it in, huh? Let's make sure to click control. Hey, there we go. All right, let's take a listen. Without. And with. So it is subtle, but it is effective. And again, you can fill it out in any other way you want. You don't have to use the kick bowl or the bowl kick, but it does work for this particular application. And then we're going to add just a nice top kick to make it fill out, to give it a nice little click, nice thump at the top there, the top frequencies. And we're going to use the kick called rattle. And again, just stock drums. So click rattle, or I should say kick rattle. And we're going to click to activate the filter, another band pass. We're going to set this one to 12. So whatever cutoff frequency it is, instead of 20 times 2 of the cutoff frequency, it'll be at -24 decibels. It'll be at -12 decibels, which means the slope isn't as steep, which means there's more frequencies that'll come through. The frequency is going to be at about 995 hertz. And we'll go to controls just to show you what I'm talking about. So 995 hertz. Or 996. You could type it in, but again, it's very minute. I have hotkey set up, so I don't want to screw anything up. Anyway, so we're going to set the resonance to about 24%. Give it a nice peak. And the volume to velocity, actually, I'm going to turn it down to 40. But again, this is completely up to you. This is all up to you. If you want to thump your higher top kick, go to 60. Do whatever you want. It's up to you. But so this is what it sounds like here. Right? All right, so let's make sure to, it goes in. All right, let's take a listen. So, again, without, with, and you can turn down the frequencies if you want, make it thumpier, whatever you want. But I just wanted to show you how effective filtering can be for drums, especially kick drums, to give you that nice beef that you want. If you can separate the frequencies and then essentially make it into one kick drum by getting other kick drums, then you got something. I do this in Reason a lot. I have a tutorial on it as well. It was the first one I ever made, but I figured I wanted to make one for Ableton, because if you use Ableton exclusively, you can still do amazing things with it, with techno or anything. It doesn't matter. You can use this for anything. 808s, it does not matter. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like the video, give it that thumbs up so more people can see it. If you want to subscribe, you can get more information with more tutorials. I've been kind of slow lately just because I've been working on literally like 40 tracks. It's ridiculous, but we're done here. We're done here. All right. Thank you so much. And definitely hope you use this technique. We'll see you next time. All right.